Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Facebook live stream. Today, I have the privilege of sitting down with a remarkable entrepreneur who is making a tangible difference in the lives of those in need. I'm excited to introduce to you Sean Boettiger, the founder of Text2Care, a revolutionary and innovative initiative that aims to combat hunger and uplift communities through innovative solutions and the power of collective care. Text2Care operates at the intersection of technology, local businesses, and compassionate individuals like yourselves, providing a platform where everyone can contribute, no matter how small, and then they can create a ripple effect of positive change. By sponsoring a meal or an essential item, you become part of a network of caring individuals dedicated to ensuring that no one goes hungry in the world of plenty. Today, we'll dive deep into the heart of Text2Care, exploring the inner workings of this inspiring venture and the impact on those in need, including its vision for a brighter future. We'll discuss the unique partnerships with local businesses, the transparent and real time evidence of impact, and the ways in which Text2Care is reshaping traditional approaches to address hunger. I encourage everyone watching this stream to join us during this live session. Feel free to ask questions in the comments, and we'll do our best to address them together. Together, we can reveal and learn the story behind Text2Care, and we'll discover how we can all contribute to creating a world where compassion and innovation go hand in hand. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Sean. And Sean is the driving force behind Text2Care. So as we embark in that conversation, I promise that this will be inspiring, enlightening, and it'll pave the way for more caring and inclusive future. So without further ado, here you go. Here is Sean. Sean, go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hey James, how you going, mate? You well?
Doing well, man. Thanks for asking. How
That's,
are you?
yeah, I'm all good, thank you. I introduced myself. I'm Sean from South Africa. I've been living in Australia now for 4.5 years, and I started Text2Care about a year and a half ago. And it's growing slowly but surely, and making a change in the world one meal at a time.
I love that. So, for those of you who've never heard of Text2Care, it's a nonprofit organization or business. Is this a business or an LLC nonprofit? How's your
It's
business structured?
it's set up as a social impact business, so it's not a
Okay,
not-for-profit. Yeah, yeah.
beautiful. All right, it's good either way, So I absolutely love what you have going on, and I know we talked previously a little bit about that, but I want to let the viewers gain some insight into what you've done. So can you share some inspiration that led you to start Text2Care and what drove you to address this issue of hunger?
So 2 years ago, we were all in the midst of COVID, and I actually went out kite surfing one day, and I shattered my femur kite surfing. I landed on the beach, and that had me laid up in bed for quite a few months. And while I was lying in bed, I was speaking to family and friends back at home, more specifically my mother-in-law, and she was telling us how everybody was really battling back at home. And she regularly had people coming to their house and asking for food because they were hungry. And I lay there and I was thinking about how I could possibly assist in my home country. That's how it first came about. And I've always had this thing with charities that you're not 100% sure where your money is going and how it is being used. And one day I came up with this idea that if I could donate some money and along with that as well, I wanted to be able to give to a community that meant something to me. So I wanted to help in that exact town that my mother-in-law was telling me that there was people battling in. So I kept on thinking, how can I donate to a person or a particular community and actually see the outcome of that money? And I came up with Text2Care in the form that somebody I've converted things into US dollars so that I don't confuse you too much today. But I've worked it out that $2.50 ends up buying somebody a meal, and when they go and collect that meal from a local business or a local charity. So although we're not a charity or a not-for-profit, we do partner with charities and not-for-profits to help spread the care around. And when the person goes in and collects his meal, or I've also got some charity daycares that are set up, so the kids that are in the daycares there every day, when they get their meals, as soon as they get given their meal, a photo gets taken of them with their choice of meal. The first store that I set up gives individuals a choice of 6 different meals that they can choose from for that value. And when they get their meal served to them, they have a photo taken. And when that photo is taken, it is redirected back to the person who made the $2.50 contribution.
Very nice. So that whole system there, could you tell us a little bit more about in depth with the partnerships between Text2Care and those local businesses?
So at the moment, when I first started in South Africa, it was quite easy for me. Obviously, being from South Africa, I've got many connections there. So that was quite easy to try and just find a local business. And then I also partnered with the help of my mother-in-law. We partnered with the church in the area, and I got a list of 200 people's telephone numbers or mobile numbers. And because I
started
didn't
calling around, huh?
I didn't want to just make a partner with some store that I didn't know about, and then them just have the choice of who they give their meals to, you know. Luckily, I think I mentioned to you the other day, with being from South Africa, one of the problems that I find with some of these larger charities is that a lot of the money ends up disappearing because of corruption and greed. And I didn't want anything like that to happen. So I got the church to give us 200 names of people. Those people would then receive a text message from me saying, you may now go to the store and choose a meal for free. And when the people arrived at the store, they would show their cell phone, and their cell phone would say user number 123 and their name and surname. And with the in-store app that I had created, the store would open their app and have a look, and that person's name was sitting there ready, waiting for a meal. So then they just click on that person's name, take a photo of them when they've chosen their meal, and that's how that whole system works. So
that 250, right? The money goes money goes to the business, which helps the business, which helps obviously the whole local economy there, and then it also helps feed the children and other people as well that can't afford to eat. I think that's a beautiful system that you've created. You've created something incredible. It really is a solution. Like,
thank you very much, James. Again, only because I was banging on the large charities there before. Where this business is right in it's rural South Africa, right in the middle of nowhere. The closest big city to it is probably a 3-hour drive away.
Wow.
Yeah. So whenever any charitable situation happens, they'll often bring a truckload of food from the main city in, which are employees from the big city, food from the big city, etc. Whereas this is actually the way that it works. By us giving the money to that small business, it's paying salaries to people that are from this small community. Whenever they run out of food in the kitchen, they buy it from local shops. So it really, as well as giving to the end user that gets the meal, it's actually helping that whole community. And that was the driving force behind the idea of Text2Care.
And that's awesome that you can have something that is simple and that works out for everybody and is transparent. And it for 250, you're really funding a whole economy, which is, I think it's brilliant that you were able to set that up. So what are some of the challenges that you faced along setting up that system and implementing Text2Care and building it and getting in those small businesses, and how have you overcome those challenges?
Well, obviously the software was the first start of the issue, but luckily I've got a friend who's helped me previously in my other business endeavors that was happy to assist when he heard what a great initiative that I was starting. So that obviously took quite a lot of trial and error, getting everything running smoothly. And once we had that, to be honest with you, to get it actually working was pretty easy because I kind of skirted past on the last question that it's as easy as a business believing me in a little bit enough to download the app and then start taking photos. And once they start getting some money coming in for it, they are so grateful for having the opportunity to be part of Text2Care themselves. So there's not actually that much legwork that it takes to actually get a new outlet up and running. And that's what my goal is this year, actually, to try and add on a couple more. So I started in South Africa, and it was actually in December last year. We added on Indonesia to Bali. We're now feeding kids in Bali as well. So the plan is to carry on growing. I'm actually hoping on opening up my next store is probably going to be in Argentina. So the plan is just to carry on going and spreading the care around the globe.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it does it through one village at a time, which I think is really how it should be done, because trying to encompass such a large area in a solution, you really can't do that. You really have to pinpoint the heart of it and get in there, and in your system does that. So again, I'm blown away at what you've created, and it almost makes me wonder, like, how has nobody created something like that has gone global yet, so the time is now, and you've done it. And again, it's completely amazing. So how do you envision expanding the initiative? How are you going to fly to other countries? Are you going to call up representatives? How are you going to reach the other communities that are in need?
So one way of doing this, well, like I said to you before about starting up in Indonesia, I've never been to Bali before, so I thought that that was going to be a bigger challenge than it was. But because of, luckily with the internet these days,
Hmm.
as long as you take care on who you partner up with, it's quite easy to make connections in other parts of the world. And then with the joy with having the photo at the same time, you get to see if, for example, here's an example that I can give you. My store in Bali, they give the kids a starter of chips, of French fries, and all of a sudden I started seeing some of the photos that were coming through was just with a kid with a bowl of French fries. And straight away, because I could see that, I got hold of them and I said, hey, I'm just wondering here, we're trying to give everybody that needs a meal a nutritious meal, and you're just giving these kids a little bowl of French fries. And they said, oh, no,
Yeah.
sorry. They can't believe the lady that's taking the photos was taking the photos as she gave them their starter of French fries instead of taking the photo with the main course. So you actually get to see exactly what's happening. So if I did happen to partner with somebody that wasn't aligned with the cause that we're trying to get to, it would be very easily noticeable. And I offer feedback from any of the contributors that are on Text2Care. I'm often sending them emails with collages of all the different people that they've fed, and I'm always open and saying, give me any feedback. So I'm hoping that so far I haven't had any complaints whatsoever. All I get is good reviews. But if there was any complaint like that, that would come to the rise straight away, I think, and then we could nip that in the bud quickly and either get a new outlet or just shake them up and make sure that they're giving the people a nice, nutritious meal.
Yeah, absolutely. And that would be the way to go about it. Address that immediately. So for those of you who are wondering, Text2Care does have a Facebook page. I'm going to go ahead and post the Facebook page in the comments of this video. And you guys go ahead and follow him. Follow his journey along creating this amazing initiative that's going to help feed so many people in so many countries. and support these local businesses, which in return supports the local economy. So just a simple like and follow on his Facebook page is a great start to helping support this initiative. And we do have some information about partnerships and how you guys can actually become a sponsor or a donator with this program. So I'm going to leave it to Sean to explain that, because I'm still learning a little bit about that. I'm interested in becoming a sponsor of this myself, and I'd love to, feed as many children as I potentially can out of my pocket, right, across the globe. So tell me a little bit about that process, what that's like.
So again, I set it up in the exact same way that I would donate to a charity, and I've made it that you can buy as little as one meal for somebody for $2.50, or you can donate a dollar amount of $100 or whatever you'd like to, or you can become a subscriber. So what I had initially thought would be the most common thing for people to contribute to would be to do $10 a month, and on that $10 a month, you would spread care once per week. So you would get an email or a text message of your contribution once per week and every week. And the reason why I thought of that is because sustainability is obviously the main thing that we have to think about with this. And I don't like when you donate to somebody and 3 days later they phone you again and they ask you for some more money. So the idea is to try and get contributors on board that really see the value in what they're getting. So you can do it any way you want. It's quite interesting as I've grown slowly. I think I might have mentioned to you before that my wife is a school teacher, and even kids that are in grade 10 heard about it through my wife, and a while later they ended up going on and purchasing a $2.50, $3.75 Australian meal. And surprisingly, a year later, once every 2 months or so, she still buys a meal for people. So she obviously doesn't have much money, not having a job and just being in school, but it allows anybody who wants to contribute the opportunity to contribute, even if it's that small amount of $2.50 once off. More often than not, when I get somebody that does a contribution, after they've received their email or text of confirmation that somebody's received a meal, they are more willing to do it again, which is proves the concept of the whole business structure.
And that's everything that you've built from the start of it to the process to the end. I love that. I love that you send out you have them take the pictures and get sent out to the donators and the sponsors. That's beautiful. You should also think about doing more Facebook posts. I think with as many pictures as you can. I know you post them on your website, and the sponsors get them. But to kind of help generate the traction on social media, every time you get a picture, man, just go right over to your Facebook on the Facebook page and just post it. So I have a few more quick questions for you. Individuals across the globe in pretty much anywhere across the globe can access this program, or is it limited to only certain countries?
No, everyone across the world can help in any way that they can. I've got some people in England, some people in Italy, someone in Canada, one person in America. So hopefully after chatting to you today, we can get a few more Americans on board. And some New Zealanders and some Australians that are all contributing money. The other thing that I'd like to mention while we talk about this, because we've been talking mainly just about food, and the vision of where Text2Care will go will be, I wanted to be able to help communities in the way that they need help. So I've, for example, got hold of a friend of mine in Botswana, and food scarcity is not such a big deal there. They've got plenty of food, but there are other things such as feminine hygiene products that they're lacking. And the plan is in the future, when you go to Text2Care, you'll have multiple different countries and communities and different things, not only meals that you can give out to people to help. So depending on what is close to your heart, what community is close to your heart, or what specific thing is close to
Man,
your
I'll
heart.
tell you, have you ever been on the toilet and haven't had a roll? I listen, if you added that item on there, I would donate some toilet paper to anybody who needs it.
Well, $2.50 would buy quite a lot of toilet paper in Botswana, I can tell you that much.
That's
But yeah, the
awesome.
point being is that you'll be able to, whatever's close to your heart, you'll be able to contribute to that specific community or that specific cause. That's the plan. But it was just easy to start with meals because everybody eats every day and everybody deserves to have a nutritious meal. So that was where we started, but we will continue to get bigger and get into more communities and help them how they need.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. And I love it so much. I think I'm gonna show people how to sponsor. You're gonna walk me through this process, and we're gonna do it live right here. Um,
It's
I
a
just
very
have
easy
a few more
process.
quick questions before we do that.
Yeah.
uh, how do you plan to sustain the impact once you decide it once it grows? How do you just how are you gonna sustain it when it's so large and your impact is so profound and powerful? How are you gonna that it's such it to me it's mind blowing because it could be such a large system. How are you gonna do that?
Well, that's hopefully I end up having the problem that the software battles a little bit because we've got too many people wanting to get on board. But as I mentioned to you earlier, with the large charities spending a lot of money on heaps of different salaries for different people and rent and all sorts of things, the way that I've designed this, I'm hoping that we Text2Care won't need very many employees ever. Because the money that you actually are giving to that local business or that local charity, they've already got the staff and they've already got the foundation to help the people that are in their community, rather than having to expand and get bigger and bigger and have more people and more staff and more salaries. I almost find well, not almost find, 100% know that as we get bigger, we'll actually be able to give even more. At the moment, I don't think I've mentioned this, we give over 80% of the money gets given back to the person in need on the other end. And if you go in and look at some other charities that are registered charities, they battle to get to that 80% mark. Some of them that you think that you're giving your whole dollar to help somebody somewhere else in the world, you actually, some of the bad ones, you only about 20 cents ends up getting to that person. So at the moment, the way that we've got
Yeah,
it
and
designed,
that's
over 80% gets to them. The more people that use the software, I'm hoping that we're going to get it up to like 95% at some point in time in the future. And the software is doing all of the work automatically. As long as we can get contributors on board to stay on board, we can spread care across the globe.
That's beautiful. And now your system right now with the as it currently stands, it's self-sustaining?
Yeah, it's self-sustaining. It's we've got, so far we've given out approximately 2,500 tummies have been filled through our system. And
Wow.
yeah, we feed it's about 75 children a meal a week guaranteed. And there are some of the businesses that feed adults and things that it's obviously different in South Africa. The rural communities, they don't come into the small town very often. So they get that text message. They might only come into town 3 weeks later and it's sitting ready for them. They can get a nice warm meal when they're there. So those numbers, they change daily sort of thing, which is, yeah,
Well,
it's really cool to
I'll
watch.
tell you what, I've been in situations, more times than I'd like to admit, where I haven't had a meal myself. And so when I'm blessed, I feel obligated to keep that going. So I've got my wallet here, and I just pulled out my card, and I'm gonna screen share. I'm gonna show you guys this site, and I'm gonna screen share real quick, and we're gonna sign up. We're gonna feed some meals right now on the live. And I'm going to
Sweet.
post the link so that anybody else who wants to do this as well right now with us can go ahead and visit the link, and you guys can sponsor some hungry tummies around the world without ever leaving your home.
And I
That
also
link,
like to say to people for $2.50. I'm not sure what a coffee costs you in the US at the moment, but I'm sure it's probably a bit more than 2.50. And in South Africa, that's feeds 4 tummies for lunch.
yeah,
Because at the
that coffee here is about $2.50, $3
there we
US.
go. So you can choose between a coffee today or feeding a child in Bali or 4 children in South Africa. It's up to you. You'll see there when you go through the process, it actually gives you the opportunity. There you screen sharing now. So I didn't have it up on my screen. I know it pretty off by heart, but you can choose there whether you want to make a once-off contribution or a regular contribution, and then where you can choose what country you would like to send it to. Easy as that. So send my care where it's needed most would rotate through those different places. And otherwise, I have quite a few people that choose a specific community, like I was speaking about earlier. When I first started this, I would have gone into here and 100% guaranteed donated to South Africa, KwaZulu Natal, because that's my home area. That's where I'm from. I'd like to feed people there. But most people end up choosing send where my care where it's needed most, and then it just rotates, so you'll donate to a different community each week,
I'm
basically.
glad you mentioned that because that actually just slipped my awareness, and I didn't even notice that said that. And I was going to ask you, where should I send the meals, and you have that
Yeah, so we've
already.
got it just auto selected to send my care where it's needed most, and then it's obviously up to the individual if they would like to only help one community or if they'd like to just spread it around.
I'm going to just, while I enter real quick, actually we'll keep it over here, and
There we go.
we'll just switch our screen mode. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to enter my information in here real quick. I just, you guys know you can't see that. You guys know better.
I thought you were going to give us your card details there, James. I would have gone shopping later.
Oh, come on now. Never. And you know what? I'm going to use our business card here. So our business is going to sponsor this.
Ideal. Thank you very much, James. This was not expected at all that you would sponsor a meal, but that's very much appreciated. And you'll be helping. I'm appreciative, but there'll be many more full little tummies that'll be even more appreciative of your contribution.
Yeah, it's a blessing to be able to do this from the comfort of my home without having to leave my home, knowing that my work here that I do here can transcend across the globe and do something like feed someone, so absolutely. And I wasn't I didn't plan this out. This was, but your initiative really touches me. It really resonates with me. And so I'm absolutely happy to do this.
Awesome. And then obviously, just a reminder there that those values that you saw there was Australian dollars values. So I think you clicked on the $15 a month, so that'll be $10 US a month is what it'll actually work out to be. Just in case anybody listening is worried that it's a bit more than they thought they would be, that I was talking nonsense to them earlier.
So if that's the case, I'll do 8 meals a month for now, and then we can increase that as we go on.
Mate,
Yeah,
that's more than enough. I
absolutely.
promise. But like I said to you, the main idea behind this whole situation is to make it sustainable. So I don't want anybody donating or contributing money that can't afford to do it themselves and look after themselves. Everybody needs to just be able to give just that amount that they feel comfortable with, and that's why it's designed like that. I would have been happy if you just purchased one meal. That would have been fantastic. if anybody listening ends up buying one meal, I'll be very grateful.
Absolutely. So, and there's a section here too where you can leave a comment or a message. Um, if you'd like to contribute to a specific store, I love that you put that in there. However, I'm not familiar with any of the stores out there. So my comment is a quote of a lyric: "Feed the children, don't have enough to eat."
Where's this thing? Well, only because you said something about a quote there. I use the quote that I'm trying to think it. I'm pretty sure it was a US president that said it, that said, we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. I
I
might have to
love that.
Google that quickly because I'm 90% sure that it is a US president's quote.
I love that. That's I've never heard that one. That's a very inspiring quote.
Now, I don't know too much about American politics, so I hope I don't upset anybody when I say this, but it was a quote that Ronald Reagan said.
Oh, Ronald Reagan said it.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's a quote of his, actually.
All right. And you know what you got to do now? You got to put it on a poster with a picture of him and sell it on your website.
I know. I've learned from you that I need to put more on my Facebook page. I'll definitely be doing that, though. It's everything takes a bit of time. So I've managed to now get everything working 100%, and we've got multiple locations going. So that's the next step, is to basically, now that I've got it all running so smoothly, and I know that it can operate in multiple countries and people can contribute from multiple countries, the plan is now to grow our contributor base. So that's what I'll be focusing on in the coming months. So I'll have to get a lot better at that too. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And partnerships, a lot of partnerships can definitely come about through doing organic lives like this on Facebook.
Sorry, it's my. I
Okay.
don't know
Are
if
we
it's
back?
my internet or yours, but one of ours was bugging out there for a bit.
Yeah, it might have been mine. We've got some odd weather going on around here lately.
Or is it? Yeah, no. And that you mentioned that, I'm all ears to listen to. The only way that I see this growing is to be open to different ideas and open to change. And that's why I mentioned to you there earlier about, now that I've got it sorted, that outlets can be opened very easily. If there's anybody in your audience that would prefer not to donate to a South African or an Indonesian cause, but they have a connection in whatever country in South America or even in America, there we go. All done. Nice
Yep,
one. Thank you,
it took a
James.
little bit to go through. I think after I hit that
Yeah.
submit button, that's where we kind of lost the stream a little
Was
bit.
that what slowed us down there? It was me taking your money.
Take more. Yeah, I wish I had more to give. But as I continue to grow businesses, and as I continue to grow my business, I would love to be able to donate and sponsor more and more as time goes on. And it's such a beautiful initiative. So this says, "Hey there, welcome to the Text2Care tribe. Please check your welcome email. It might go to a junk folder." I can help you with that if you need help. If your emails end up going to spam folder or junk folder, just let me know. Please check your emails for your welcome message. If you receive, you'll receive a text email with a photo when a hungry person collects a meal. Yes, that is so awesome, and you couldn't have set this up better. So I even have a reference number here. And then you're thanking for making a difference. Take care. Text to care. I love this. This is
Easy as that.
beautiful. That was
And
easy.
I,
Okay. And I just fed 8 meals.
yeah, so I would imagine it won't be today, but it'll probably be in the next 2 or 3 days. Your meal tokens would have been uploaded into the system, and somebody will come in and grab a meal, and you would have purchased it for them. Like I said to you earlier, there though too, I've
That
made
is
it so that
awesome.
you on the with your contribution, you're doing $30 a month. Well, I don't know what 30 is exactly in what would that be? 250 is $20 a month. You'll be receiving around about 2 text messages or emails per week with the people as they come in and collect their meals. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, you'll see the smiles on their faces, and you'll know that it's been a good cause as soon as the first one comes through to you there.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. And thank you for the ability to be able to do that. That means a lot to me. So also thank you to everybody who joined in on this live to gain some insight. And thank you for joining us with this interview with Sean. Sean, again, is the founder of Text2Care. And it's truly been an inspiring conversation here with Sean. I hope that everybody watching gained valuable insights into this incredible business that Sean's put together for communities around the world. Thank you, Sean. Sincerely, thank you. And thank you for your time and your knowledge as well, and all the passion that you shared with us today. I can see that your dedication to this has already been making a positive impact, and it truly is commendable. So I appreciate everything that you're doing and all of the valuable information that you've provided, and also helping me, walk me through that process there of sponsoring some meals. So, and
Wow.
to all of our viewers, remember that each and every one of us has the power to make a difference, whether it's supporting organizations like Text to Care, volunteering in your local community, or spreading awareness about the issues that we discussed today. Every action counts. So, as we wrap up this interview, Sean, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the viewers today? Any final message
I'd
or call to action?
firstly just like to say thank you for your time, James. It's been great talking to you and introducing me to your audience. And like I said before, I don't have to go on about it, but if anybody can contribute, there's multiple different ways, multiple different amounts that you can do that with. All we need to do now is grow and make the world a better place altogether. That's the goal. As
Simple
well as
as
I'm
that.
all ears if anybody wants to get hold of me for whatever reason whatsoever. If they've got an idea, if they want to start up a new different outlet, if there's any suggestions or feedback, I welcome all of it.
That's right. You guys can comment in the description under this video here. You can also follow the Text to Care Facebook page. That's also in the comments. I've also dropped another comment in there where you guys can sponsor some meals as well through Text to Care. And if you have any questions for Sean, would it be okay for people to reach out to you with any kind of questions?
Any question whatsoever, my email's all over the web page. It's Sean at Text2Care, SEAN at Text2Care. And I welcome any conversation about Text2Care. I could speak about it 24 hours a day. I'd be happy.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sean. All right, cool. Let's continue to work together, man. Uplift those in need
Awesome.
and create a world where no one goes hungry. And for everyone else watching, stay tuned for more inspiring conversations and opportunities to contribute to meaningful causes. And thank you, everyone, again, for being a part of this live and interview with Sean.
Thanks, James. See you, mate.
We'll talk soon. Bye.
Talk soon. Bye.